Welcome to week 3 of Organizational Behavior and Ethics. This week we're shifting over to discussions not so much on ethical issues and concerns, but on ethical behavior, uh, ethical decision making, and how that reflects on leadership and management in your organizations. The decision making that we do is directly related to the ethical behavior in our groups and in our organization. So you're reading in the Robins and Judge chapter book this week, the chapter on decision making. And in the first discussion forum, forum for the week 3.0, you're specifically looking at errors and biases in decision making that lead us astray from making good decisions and often move us in the direction of unethical decisions. Make sure when you are talking about errors and biases that you are referring back to the ones listed in the Robins and Judge text. For instance, they talk about overconfidence bias that you may have when you have too strong a belief in your own ability and opinions. Um, Anchoring bias, where you make a decision and then won't budge regardless of the new information that's coming in. And it goes on. And then there's confirmation bias, availability bias, and then they move into errors, randomness error, risk aversion, and so forth. So make sure that you are referring back to those as you are writing in the discussion, not just errors or biases that may come to your mind that are based on theory discussed in Robins and Judge. Okay. As well as some of your self-assessments will assist you with that as well. The next discussion forum is based on the article Moral Person, Moral Manager, and use the framework presented there to articulate the morality of business in your organization. And then you're going to be going to your ethics text, Farrell, Friedrich, and Farrell, and looking at the historical moral philosophies and determining how they operate in terms of the leadership in your organization. Later on, you are going to be using these same theories when you do your projects and when you write your papers. So the major historical moral philosophies are the teleological philosophies, and those are the ones when you make a decision based on what the outcome is going to be. Teleos means outcome or consequence, and the major one there is discussed in your text is utilitarianism, where you weigh up the costs and the benefits of making a decision, and you look at the outcome based on that, and then you decide. So it's the text, and this often misleads students, talks about the greatest good for the greatest number. That's true. But also, don't forget with utilitarianism that the greatest good isn't the good for everyone. A lesser number pays the price. For instance, when some people are laid off in order for the organization to stay profitable, the organization benefits. Those who are using the goods or service benefit, but a few people, those who were laid off, pay the price. That's utilitarianism. There's also egoism and altruism that are teleological theories, but that's not so important in this class. The second group of historical moral philosophies are deontological philosophies, where the decision is not based on the outcome. The decision is based on your duty or your responsibility. In other words, you're making your decision based on the goodness of the action, regardless of the outcome. Dion or Dios means duty. It's a way to help you remember that this isn't based on outcome. It's based on the morality or the goodness of the act itself. So if I decide that I'm not going to lay off those people, because it's not the right thing to do, then what might happen is we might lose some customers or some investors. But the outcome I wouldn't be looking at that. I would be looking on the goodness of the act itself. So both of those are viable options, but different people will look at decision making differently based on their particular approach to ethical decision making or their historical moral philosophy. The third historical moral philosophy that I want you to consider is virtue. And of course, you can explore the others that are in the text, but virtue is not based on the goodness of the act or on the outcome. It's based on the values of the person making the decision. So if I make a decision, is it in alignment with my personal values? And generally, those personal values have been handed down to me, or I've learned them from my culture or from my mentors or from my religion. As a Christian, I might ask myself, what would Jesus do? That would be an approach. That would be an approach of virtue. You learn virtuous behaviors through role models and exemplars and emulate those values. Sorry about the phone. Just keep that in mind this week as you move forward. I hope that was helpful to you. Please don't hesitate to contact me. Have a little chat by email or a phone call. I'm happy to talk with you further. This happens to be my area of research and expertise. So I hope you enjoyed. I hope you have a great week. I look forward to seeing the work that you do.